What's good, my homie gang? You know what I'm saying? Your Uncle HK is back, and this is for all my people that's watching me that got requests of stuff they want me to react to, videos they want me to react to, and all that. I don't be remembering on because people be requesting stuff every day in the comments. So there's an easier way for y'all to do this. If y'all have anything y'all want me to watch, just go to any of my recent videos. You know what I'm saying? After 7/25/2021. Just go to this video, like this video, American Uncle reacts to UK drill rappers that could have been big. You know what I'm saying? Or any video after this video. Any video after this video, just go through here. He's saying go to the link, go to the description. It says click this link to add your reaction request to my playlist. You know what I'm saying? Click the link right here, bro. It's gonna say add to this playlist, and it's gonna say your name. Hit continue to become a member of this playlist, and then you can just go to any other video you know or on YouTube, and you can add it to this playlist. You know what I'm saying? Save the playlist. You know what I'm saying? And then you can add any of y'all requests to this playlist. That's for anybody, any one of y'all that got any reaction requests for me. All right, let's get into this video.
Leak boy.
What's good, YouTube? Everybody's favorite uncle on YouTube is back. You feel me? Last video of the day. Y'all already know what to do. Run that subscribe up. If you new and you hit this channel, you hit this video, that means you must have wanted to do, you know what I'm saying, see what this channel was about. Let me tell you right now, it's lit over here. 3 videos a day. You know what I'm saying? Every day till September 10th, giving you something to watch, eat while you're drinking your Sprite, and you're eating your food, like, you know what I'm saying? You're eating your candy, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's something for you to always watch, you feel me? Oh shoot, my phone went off. You feel me? Something for you to always watch. Y'all like other videos, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you love your mama. You feel me? It's your boy, it's your Uncle HK, you feel me? I got gummy worm, you know what I'm saying? I'm hungry. I like the video, leave a subscribe. I told y'all I was gonna do Trap Lords Ross's new video, the hour-long video for the last video of the day, but it is such a long video and I do not really feel like watching an hour-long video because I'm gonna be sitting here for 2 hours pausing and asking questions and, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna probably do it tomorrow or the next day. I gotta mentally prepare myself to sit here for an hour. So y'all like up the video right now, leave a comment if you love your mama. Instead of the Trap Lord Ross's video, we're gonna watch BRIXTON versus PECKHAM, most infamous beef in London. It seems like a banger, so you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check it out. I better stop eating this. My stomach gonna hurt. Let me put this up real quick. Hold on. Let me put that motherfucker down real quick. All right, let's get into it. Hold on. Kid Nerd's voice, low key. Like our video, subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment if you love your mama.
So before the publicised drill feuds in South London, like Moscow versus Zone 2 and Harlem versus 410, there was a very deadly war going on between Peckham and BRIXTON, which was one of the first nationally publicised beefs in London, gaining a lot of news coverage, and came about in the early stages of YouTube, where we could see direct disses, kind of originating diss tracks how we know it today. So as I said before, the 2 areas in this feud was BRIXTON versus Peckham. So first we have Peckham, which is located in the borough of Southwark in South London, which infamously is the area where drill group Zone 2 are from. But before Zone 2, there was the Peckham Boys, which was a gang made up of 5 estates in Peckham, which were the North Peckham Estate, Gloucester Grove Estate, Willowbrook Estate, Camden Estate, and the Sumner Estate. And these estates were very well known for how bad they were. They suffered massive unemployment and crime, and were very deprived. They pretty much were neglected by any law enforcement and government as well, and was even called PECKHAM, which was a hybrid between Vietnam and Peckham, comparing the area to...
That's where the police is messing up right here. They leaving these boys to go crazy and wild. That's how it is low-key in Chirac. You feel me? They leave them to go crazy and wild. They may try and add cameras and stuff, like in Chirac over here in Chicago. They be trying to add so many cameras and shit. The cameras don't really do nothing, my nigga. The police, sometimes the police, I feel like the police want to incite the violence. You feel me? I feel like the police just be like, let's let it happen. Let's let them kill each other. You know what I'm saying? Let's let them kill each other, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It's making more money for us. You know what I'm saying? People got to go to the hospital getting stabbed and all this, shanked and all this. More money rolling in for the government. So I be feeling like sometimes they let it, you know what I'm saying, stay woke. Sometimes they be wanting to incite these world diseases and gang violence for black on blacks to kill each other. We not the true enemy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
To the Vietnam War due to how much violence was there. Throughout the Peckham Boys gang, there were different sets, like the Firehouse Crew and YBP, or Younger Peckham Boys. There were also a couple of Jamaican yardie gangs in Peckham, like the Sunrise Crew and the Spanglers as well. And on the other side of the feud, we have BRIXTON, which is about an 11-minute ride from Peckham and is located in the borough of Lambeth. BRIXTON's main gang in this feud was called the Gas Gang, who was a gang from the Angel Town estate. And these guys were the most violent gang in the Brixton area, and were even responsible for 3/4 of violent incidents in Brixton in 2012. The Angel Town estate, where Gas Gang is from, probably has the richest history of gangs in London, with many different generational gangs being bred from this estate, like the PDC gang in the 2000s who dominated the estate. Nowadays it's the Get Back gang or 150 who take on the estate. But let's take it back a minute to
y'all got Get Back gang over there. They got the Get Back gang over here in Chicago. What if it's did it migrate or something? Did it migrate from Chicago or over there, or did they just started it on their own? That's crazy, bro. Y'all gotta get back. Y'all got a GBG over there too. Get back.
Where Peckham, who I first mentioned, was deep in the decades long with a gang called the Ghetto Boys, who was a gang from Lewisham in South London, which was a crazy war in itself. And I'll definitely do a video of that in the future. But in 2008, after decades of back and forth between the Peckham and Lewisham gangs, the younger generations in both gangs agreed to an alliance, which was fully solidified during the Notting Hill Carnival in August 2008, when the 180 members from both gangs organized a link-up at the carnival. The link-up was actually intercepted by police because the police thought the two gangs were linking up to fight each other. But as Peckham's relationship with Lewisham got better, their relationship with Brixton started to worsen. See, historically, Brixton and Peckham have always had a feud, even dating all the way back to the 1950s, where local schoolboys from both areas would clash.
So this gang beef been going on since 1950, bro. Nigga, I wasn't even born, bro. My daddy wasn't even born thinking about having me out his motherfucking paper. Nigga. That shit is crazy. This gang shit, it's gonna last, honestly, for as long as we live, bro. There's no way in stopping it. Because one little thing be inciting the beef. You feel me? A fucking watch gets stolen, nigga, will incite beef, nigga. Somebody laughing at somebody dead ops, bro, inciting beef. This shit never stop, bro. Especially in London. Like, London, the amount of gangs y'all niggas got over there, bro. And one fucking, you know what I'm saying, city, yo.
Even more hostile after immigration, because Peckham was filled with mainly African immigrants, while Brixton was filled with mainly Caribbean immigrants. So there's always been big culture clashes there. But as I said, in 2008, the war between Brixton and Peckham was starting to become a lot more heated. And these were times where guns were much more accessible than what they are now. It wasn't uncommon for a gang member to be rolling around with a gun, just like how nowadays most gang members roll around with knives. So there was a lot of back and forth shooting between these areas. In one instance, members from a Brixton gang called OC, who were heavily allied with Gas Gang, rid out on Woolworth Road, which at the time was a territory of the Shoot Instant gang, who were part of the Peckham side, and started shooting at two Peckham rappers called Snap Capone and Butch, who were walking down the street. Both rappers actually managed to run to a convenience store and managed to dodge the bullet. While running into the shop, an innocent bystander just trying to get into the same shop was shot and killed. His name was Ryan Bravo, and he was 18 at the time. And this was one of the big turning points in making his feud widely publicized in the UK. Just to rub salt in the wounds, the OC gang made a diss track called Bullet Rhythm, when the member mocked the situation with the lyrics, "Had you running in the shop like you're buying something," while a member of a Peckham gang then responded to the situation in a song called Real Riders, saying, "Try come Willie Road and bark it up, but when I come up on your block, little dickhead siding up." Obviously referencing when Brixton.
See, the drill from back then is probably way outdated. Like, me hearing that shit sounds like it don't even sound like a drill type beat. Drill has came a long way and evolved. But this is, y'all see this, niggas been dissing for the longest of times, nigga. This is just a never-ending cycle, bro. And I wouldn't want to be part of this motherfucking cycle, nigga. Because I want to live a long-ass life, nigga. A long-ass life. I wouldn't even want to be part of this cycle, my nigga. These niggas, they be living and dying for that gang life, nigga. they be living and dying, literally dying every day. Probably somebody died today for that gang's life, bro. This
The
shit
members
crazy.
shot up Woolwich Road, which are some of the early examples of UK
Dissing niggas and all that.
referencing real moments that have happened on the streets, bringing more publicity to the feud. And the people who are up to date with London's street situation at the moment will probably be quite confused, because Woolwich Road actually beats Peckham now. But that's a whole nother story to get into another time. So yeah, after this Woolwich Road shooting, many diss tracks were going back and forth between the gangs, as well as shots. In the same year of 2008 in October, Brixton older members got the drop on a Peckham member's house called Terms and waited in the parked car outside his house. When Terms appeared outside his house, they shot him on his doorstep, leaving him to die. Terms was a member of the SN1 gang in Peckham, which stands for Spare No One. And this is the same gang that the famous rapper Giggs was part of.
These gang names, they low key pressure. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of these gang names is Spare No One. That shit pressure. That shit is pressure, bro. I ain't even gonna
And
cap.
Giggs pays respect to Terms sometimes in his songs. It didn't take more than a month for Peckham to respond to this though. In November, Peckham members got the drop that some members from the Brixton gang OC were clubbing at a nightclub called SE1 in Bermondsey, South London, and pulled up to the club, shooting Errol Davis close range in front of 2,500 clubbers. Which is even crazier because the murderer was never caught, despite there being...
And they didn't even catch the murderer. I mean, of course, back then they didn't have all the cameras and all that shit, and niggas was probably not telling, bro. But damn, in front of 2,000 people, you killed somebody up close and nobody figure out who did it.
Bermondsey,
what
South
the
London,
fuck?
and pulled up to the club, shooting Errol Davis close range in front of 2,500 clubbers, which is even crazier because the murderer was never caught, despite there being thousands of witnesses at the scene. But these times, stuff like this wasn't uncommon because there was low-level security and no cameras in some of the clubs in 2008.
Exactly,
which is something you will never see in clubs in
2008
London nowadays. Quite recently, actually, in 2016, the police found the same handgun which murdered Errol Davis at the nightclub in the possession of a man called Andre Chambers, who lived in Woolwich, which is quite sus. It was also later found out that the same weapon which was involved in Errol Davis's murder was also involved in 2 other attempted murders and 1 murder. But Andre Chambers was never found guilty for the murders with little to no evidence, apart from handling the weapon. But that's not enough to go down for a murder. While this direct war between Brixton and Peckham was occurring, there were also a lot of separate gangs and areas who joined alliances with both areas. This was basically turned into some World War III stuff, the South London version. One set based in Old Kent Road, called OBY, in South London were affiliated with Peckham. But a dispute between the members started a feud between OBY and Peckham, resulted in OBY members joining...
Always, I'm hearing this is always what I'm hearing. Just a little ass dispute between 2 members. And they ain't even nobody get killed. It's just a dispute over something. Start this motherfucking game beef. This shit is just like, bro, niggas can't even, niggas can't talk it out. Like, nigga, like they had an alliance long ago, and then nigga, did the alliance get broken and shit because niggas is disputing. New generational niggas, new niggas come in and start disputing, say fuck the alliance, bro, and start killing or robbing and stealing, bro. This shit, bro. Let me stop ranting, bro. Fuck it. It's a never-ending cycle, like I keep saying.
In the fight against Peckham, which was fully signified in the trap between the 2 gangs called Brooklyn to Baghdad. But OBY went off to a bad start in his feud after losing one of their younger members called Baby Ryder. His real name was Sunday Essia, and he was a 15-year-old orphan from Nigeria after his mum and dad both died when he was younger. And he started to get involved in the South London feud. Before he was stabbed, he pulled out an imitation firearm on 4 rival members. When they realized it was fake, they chased him through a park while he was screaming for his life, begging his killers not to kill him and spare his life. But he was ultimately stabbed 9 times and left to die. So after the back and forth in 2008, Brixton and Peckham was literally a no-go zone. And me personally, growing up as a kid around these times, despite me not actually living in the area and being too young to understand all this stuff, I just knew Brixton and Peckham was a place you do not go. Even the Member of Parliament of Peckham at the time, Harriet Harman, would wear a bulletproof vest and have security while she would walk through Peckham, further embracing the name PECKHAM. Then 2009 hit, and this was a big year for music from both sides, but especially from the Peckham side of things, when Giggs dropped a couple mixtapes and started putting some of his other members onto music, like Gunna D and Killer Kai. But Giggs was under a lot of pressure from the police at the time, who would cancel his shows, warn labels not to work with him, and even banned him from appearing in TV and radio, which is something we see a lot now with police taking down these drill music videos. Well, the reason why police was so
that's where low-key I feel like the police is wrong on their part, bro. The police should not be able to ban people from talking. That's like banning you from freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they dissing the dead and all that, but you banning people from freedom of speech, bro. Damn, that's good, bro. Like banning all this nigga could have been successful and come out just doing his music and leave that gang shit.
Banned him from appearing in TV and radio, which is something we see a lot now with police taking down these drill music videos. Well, the reason why police were so onto Giggs is because the streets were crazy at these times, and Giggs' Peckham gang SN1 were making headlines early on in 2009 when they executed the ex-member in broad daylight on a busy street because he fell out with the gang earlier on. This was a ticking point for police because it was seeming to the public at this time that the gangs had took control and could do whatever they want, which was essentially true.
The gangs
so police
did take control.
CCTV footage or previous rideouts from both Peckham and Brixton gangs in an attempt to take down some members. Police sent over this footage to Peckham members' lawyers as proof of their involvement in the feud, which a member then grabbed the footage off his lawyer and uploaded it to YouTube. The original video is no longer up, but a re-upload of it is still on YouTube today, and shows Peckham members riding out in Brixton in masses. And when looking at this footage, this is some propaganda-worthy stuff. Like, the captions in the videos are so funny, and all the footages just show how crazy these times really were. Like, gangs were just riding their ops with 30 guys on pedal bikes, loaded with guns and knives. There's no way you could get away with that stuff nowadays in London. 3 boys can't even walk to the shop in London without getting stopped by police, let alone that many people on bikes.
Wait, that's facts? 3 guys can't walk in a shop in London without getting stopped by the police? Like, the police is gonna be tailing them or on them? Like, what the fuck?
In the music video called Your Liars, and the whole year of 2009 was literally just filled with violence and diss tracks, with some real classics like Wreckage from Peckham younger members. Around the same time of this release, a 13-year-old boy was stabbed 5 times in South London due to the feud in his area, which hit national attention because 13 is hella young, and I think this rang into a lot of people's minds that this issue was very bad.
13?
Because kids is young and even younger than 13.
A 13-year-old? What could a 13-year-old do so bad in a gang like that young? Bro, like, what the fuck? Niggas is just... Nigga just hit 10 3 years ago. What the fuck? And he's a part of that gang life and niggas is stabbing him, bro.
We're now known to be involved in this. And on top of all this Brixton and Peckham beef, Peckham were having their own issues inside the area, and the civil war started to ignite in the Peckham area, which was fully all out after a member of the MLB gang, or Mandem on Brandon, was shot dead by Peckham Olders. MLB is a gang from the Brandon estate in South London, which is the same estate drill group Moscow 17 is based in. Peckham rapper Snap Capone was linked to the murder, but managed to beat the case. But a member was sent to prison for hiding the gun.
That stuff's crazy, dog. Oh, it's okay. Okay, go finish my recording, okay?
So it's still to go something?
Yes. Alright, like I was saying, bro. What was I saying? Let me go back.
But a member was sent to prison for hiding the gun used in the murder. This created a lot of politics between Peckham and the Peckham affiliated gangs, and the same estate drill group Moscow 17 is based in. Peckham rapper Snap Capone was linked to the murder, but managed to beat the case. But a member was sent to prison for hiding the gun used in the murder. This created a lot of politics between Peckham and the Peckham affiliated gangs, and eventually after many disputes, members of an estate called Lexham Estate split away from the Peckham sets and started beefing Peckham, which just started turning Peckham very messy. At the same time, different Peckham sets started turning on each other, and because Peckham is such a big area and had so many different estates, the gangs just started keeping in.
How many gangs again does Peckham have exactly in one? Because Peckham, it seems like it is largely filled with a whole bunch of gangs, and these members in Peckham do not give a fuck at all, bro. I mean, any gang people, they don't give a fuck, but like, it seems like Peckham is like up, like they got a deep amount of members type in a fucking in that fucking area, you feel
inside
me?
their estate. One of these being the Pelican estate, which started beefing other Peckham gangs after the disagreement, which in December of 2010 resulted in 2 members being stabbed and 1 being shot to death. The member who died was called Vesta, and police were investigating the situation heavily at the time. So while this investigation was taking place, a younger member of a rival Peckham gang started to go onto the Pelican estate and post leaflets through the doors, which said, and I quote, "Stop snitching or we'll come for you," which must have been hella threatening for the normal residents who just live on the estate and had nothing to do with the gang situation. 2 members, Tiny Nutty and Jungle, were convicted and sent to a minimum of 30 years for the murder. Just before Tiny Nutty
minimum 30
for the murder of Vesta, his older, who was called Nutty, was on remand in prison for a firearm charge. Around these times especially, it would be common for older members to have youngers, which would then take on their name essentially, just like how Tiny Nutty took on Nutty's name. A 17-year-old from Peckham was also on the same charge as Nutty for the firearm, but just like how gang hierarchy works, other members were pressuring the 17-year-old to plead guilty to the firearm charge, which would then allow Nutty to be freed. The 17-year-old refused though, which resulted in other members executing the 17-year-old by luring him into a car and shooting him in the back.
That is crazy, bro. See, he should have been known. Like, this is only 2 ways this could go. I take the charge. If they pressuring the nigga, This how, if I was in his situation, this is how I'm gonna look at it, bro. There's only two ways this gonna go. If I don't take this charge for this nigga, since he like the boss man, nigga, they gonna kill me out here. They gonna kill me, or I'm gonna have to be on a run and leave the city type shit. Or two, I gotta take the charge for this nigga and live my life in jail forever. Some people, they don't care. They gonna take their chances. They just gonna take their chances trying to go on a run or trying to avoid and dodge these niggas, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I might have to take the charge for the jail. But I like, if I knew I couldn't get out the state, the London or nothing like that. If I knew I couldn't get out of London, you know what I'm saying, get away from this gang life, being on the run, I would have just took that charge for him and went to jail, nigga. I know some people don't want to live like that, but I want to live.
His head, and then burning the vehicle on the day of the court hearing. Nutty was accused of arranging the murder because of the conflicting stories they both were telling in court. And he looked even more guilty after officers found the lyrics in his cell saying, "Kill your co-defendant if he's snitching in court." Like, I don't think you could get any more bait than writing those lyrics. It's not even like it's a catchy line or anything. I think he was just screaming, "Please
said
let me
that
out." And
until
that's exactly
after.
what they done after finding him guilty of the gun charges and arranging the murder, which he is now serving 32 years for. Also, the Peckham rapper, who was known by a street name CS, was actually caught and convicted for setting the car on fire after the 17-year-old was shot and killed, which he served 4 years for. So as you could tell, Peckham was just a mad area 4 years. The civil war they were having was probably more active than their beef with BRIXTON ever was. One death that really shocked the area was the death of a respected member called Taz. He died during the chase when he crashed his motorbike. Family members put up a shrine of Taz where the accident occurred, where the ops then camped outside the same day of his death. And when a member called Little Groove visited the shrine, they shot him dead the same day. So Peckham was literally a no-go zone at this point. Like, literally everyone was just beefing each other. And while all this madness was happening in Peckham, BRIXTON were having their own separate issues over in their camp. Gas Gang was starting to get heavily involved in beefs with a lot of surrounding towns, like Brixton Hill and Toast Hill, which are blocks of the famous.
So I'm looking at this like everybody in the area, all the gangs in the area beefing with everybody, and all the gangs and all the gangs in Peckham is starting to beef with everybody in Peckham over there and out there. And all the beefs in Brixton, yo, so this shit was fucking chaos. This was like Vietnam, bro. This was a fucking war.
One murder that really started changing the dynamic of this beef was the murder of Toast Hill member Little Zach. It was 2011 and 5 Gas Gang members rid out in a school located in Toast Hill, waiting for Little Zach to come home from school. The reason the members targeted Little Zach is because he was involved in the stabbing of a Gas Gang member 2 weeks before this incident. When he came out of the school, the Gas Gang members chased Little Zach and stabbed him to death. He was only 15 at the time, and this resulted in a few separate gangs starting to turn on Gas Gang, like ABM, who was a gang located in Stockwell. At this point, literally everyone was beefing everyone. South London was just a very, very dangerous place. And when some murders would be committed, police couldn't even point it towards any specific gangs, just because it could have been so many different cliques. Like the murder of Azur Khan in 2011. He was attending the funeral of one of his Gas Gang friends when he was shot and killed at the burial, but no one has the faintest idea of who it could have been.
They killed the nigga at the funeral? Nigga, you going to a funeral to mourn somebody. You not thinking you going to a funeral to die. And they killed this nigga at the funeral he going to. Yo, this shit, it was a fucking crazy ass ward back then, nigga.
It could be one of the many gangs in Peckham. It could have been members from Toast Hill, Brixton Hill, ABM, or just anyone from the borough of Southwark. There's just too many possibilities. These murders amped up the fuse between gas gangs and other areas aside Peckham, and it was getting to the point where both Brixton and Peckham had more issues on their hands rather than each other. In 2012, 3 gas gang members rid out on Stockwell looking for members of a rival gang called ABM. When they found the op inside the shop, they let off fire inside the shop, which missed the rival, but ended up hitting a 5-year-old, which left her paralyzed. This hit nationwide news, and this was really the beginning of the end for gas gang.
Hold on, because I wasn't even paying attention right here. Hold on.
There's just too many possibilities. These murders amped up the fuse between gas gangs and other areas aside Peckham, and it was getting to the point where both Brixton and Peckham had more issues on their hands rather than each other. In 2012, 3 gas gang members rid out on Stockwell looking for members of a rival gang called ABM. When they found the op inside the shop, they let off fire inside the shop, which missed the rival, but ended up hitting a 5-year-old, which left her paralyzed. This hit nationwide news, and this was really the beginning of the end for gas gang, because they started getting more monitored than probably any other gang at the time, which 2 years later resulted in a massive
be because a 5-year-old's getting hit in the process of y'all. That's the thing of these casualties of war. It don't even matter if it's like a war between states or countries, bro. This is an actual war. And then there's casualties getting in the way, like a 5-year-old and any younger. Like, bro, if a 5-year-old's getting hit, bro, bro, the gang shit gotta stop, like, or slow down a little bit. And see, it shouldn't even be to that point where the police have to come in. The police shouldn't even like, oh, a 5-year-old gets hit, now we have to for real stop it. No, before that, like, so that shit don't even go down or happen.
Taking down some of the key members of the gang. Nowadays, Peckham and Brixton gangs are actually linked up, with both of them having the same odds. But compared to how it was back in 2011 to 2012, both areas have calmed down a lot, with mass surveillance and of course gentrification. If you go to some of the old blocks of Peckham, where murders, robbings and shootings would be a daily occurrence, it's crazy how now them same blocks are filled with white hippies with rich parents. But to be honest, that's like most of London now. Anyway guys, that's it for today's video. I might do a part 2 on this because I know
the war back then was, whoa, that shit was, yeah, I see why they call it a Peckham Nam. Yeah, that shit was for real devious back then. And all the gangs that was beefing with each other, yo, I'm glad that shit died down and shit. Cause yo, if that shit was going on to this day, nigga, yo, a whole lot of bodies would be dropped. You feel me? I mean, a lot of bodies still get dropped nowadays, but like, yo, you can tell, like, you see the police intervene when shit is about to get radical. But they let, like, that's why I said they let you kill each other a little bit here and there. But shit get radical and 5-year-olds get involved in there like, oh, now we gotta really put our foot down. It don't make no sense, bro. Y'all like the video, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all want to request for tomorrow. I appreciate every single one of y'all, bro. It's been your boy, everybody's favorite Hunkcore on YouTube. Subscribe if you new. Leave a comment down below if you love your mama. I'm out, bro.
Yeah. Family broken, so I stand with my niggas. Showed up to every shootout, but I ran for my feelings. No time for those, I got a plan to get millions. Whoever don't agree, I see you back at the buildings. That's why I never let y'all act like a victim. That's why I never let y'all kill my ambition. You weren't built for the mission.